Have you noticed how much the world of work is changing, like right under our feet? It's not just about where we work anymore, but how we work and what it all means to us. Okay, let's dive into this transformation and a fascinating new role that's emerging from it.
You know, the relationship we have with our jobs is being completely redefined. It's no longer just a simple transaction, time for money. It's become a complex, interconnected part of our very identity. And as this image shows, we're all navigating this new reality together.
So, before we jump to the solution, let's quickly break down the key pressures that are shaping the modern work environment. It's important to get the context right. First off, the line between our personal and professional lives has become incredibly blurry. The whole idea of a 9 to 5 is fading, and with it, that clean separation of our time and our energy is just gone. Then, there's this constant demand for new knowledge. What you knew yesterday might not be enough for tomorrow. This culture of lifelong learning is both an amazing opportunity and, let's be honest, a relentless pressure.
And here's a paradox I think we all feel. Our digital tools are supposed to bring us closer, but they can also create this sense of distance and isolation from our colleagues. We're connected, sure, but are we really connecting?
To survive and actually thrive in this new landscape, a different set of skills has become absolutely essential. We need to be more autonomous, take on greater responsibility, and be incredibly adaptable, constantly reshaping our own roles to meet new challenges.
This is where a concept like positive psychology offers a really powerful framework. It's not about ignoring problems, but about actively building our personal resources, things like resilience, hope, and optimism, to face challenges head-on. And this brings us to the crucial question. If employees are navigating all of this change, what's the company's role? How can organizations go from simply demanding these new skills to actively helping their people build them?
And that leads us to a strategic and very human answer. Let's talk about the rise of the Chief Happiness Officer.
So, what is a CHO? Look, it's not just about planning parties. A Chief Happiness Officer is a strategic leader focused on creating an environment where people can truly flourish. They act as a catalyst, driving both well-being and the development of those crucial new skills we just talked about.
The work of a CHO isn't random. It's a structured approach that impacts the organization on 4 distinct, interconnected levels. Think of it like a blueprint for building a healthier, more effective workplace. This brings us to the core framework of the CHO's impact. You can think of it like a mind map for creating well-being, starting with the individual and expanding outward from there.
Everything starts with the individual. I mean, you can't have a happy organization without happy, resilient people at its core. It just doesn't work.
At this level, the CHO helps employees build their own internal toolkit. This means fostering self-awareness, helping them regulate emotions, define clear personal goals, and ultimately, build the resilience they need to navigate challenges. Next, we zoom out to how people interact with each other, because work is, and always will be, a team sport.
Here, the focus shifts to strengthening team dynamics. It means improving communication and fostering genuine collaboration. But it also includes this really powerful idea called relational job crafting, which is basically about empowering people to proactively shape their interactions to make work more meaningful and effective.
Now we zoom out even further to the organizational level. We're talking about the company's operating system, its core processes, its structures, and the leadership styles that shape everyone's daily experience. At this level, the goal is to ensure that people are in roles and a culture where they can thrive. A CHO champions psychological safety, that feeling that you can speak up without fear, and coaches leaders toward more sustainable, empathetic management styles. And finally, the broadest level of impact, the company culture. This is about the unwritten rules, the shared values, and the collective habits of the organization. At the cultural level, the CHO acts like a detective and a facilitator. They identify toxic patterns like micromanagement, create space for conversations that matter, help make change feel normal instead of threatening, and teach everyone to recognize the early signs of burnout. So when you put it all together, you can see how these 4 levels create a holistic system. It starts with the individual at the center and ripples out to the entire culture, with each layer supporting the others. All right, let's bring this all home. Why does any of this matter, beyond just making people feel good at work? Because here's the bottom line. Investing in employee happiness isn't some fluffy, nice-to-have benefit. It is a rock-solid business strategy. It's a direct lever for innovation, productivity, and the long-term sustainability of the entire organization. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on.
For decades, we've measured success in profit margins and market share. But in the future of work, what if the ultimate key performance indicator was the well-being of our people?